Hello and welcome to the 15th lecture of second chapter of Comprehensive Machine Learning, Data Science and Artificial Intelligence course. Now here we want to discuss about this topic, advanced function parameters, how to take arbitrary number of arguments. Before we discuss that, we slightly move backwards on something which we have already discussed. We actually want to discuss what are these things, that is asterisk args and asterisk kwargs, 2 times asterisk kwargs. Okay, so this is again a very important topic which makes Python functions really powerful and versatile. See, what is the need of doing this? Before that, let us see what are these args and argument and keyword. So we have seen this diagram earlier that this is the function which is defined, and whenever you write some variables inside, they are called parameters. So variables mentioned within the function definition in the parenthesis, just near the colon symbol, they are called parameters. But when you call that same function and when you pass some values to that variables, then these are called arguments. Now, in this, we also saw one important thing, that there are 2 types of arguments. One is called positional and another is called keyword. We also saw this example. For example, this is a simple function, describe pet, and it takes 2 arguments, animal type and pet name. And it prints this output using that f string, that I have this is the symbol for a variable which is embedded inside a string, and therefore this f is required and these 2 curly braces are also required. You can see that the color is black. So immediately by looking at your IDE, you will be reminded if you forgot to add this curly braces. So I have an animal type, so whatever variable is passed here, dog say, then that will be printed here. Named, again another variable, pet name. So whatever variable is passed here, say Tommy, then Tommy will be printed here, and therefore the whole sentence will be I have a dog named Tommy. So let us take one example also. Describe pet and oh sorry, I forgot to execute the upper one. And yeah, I have a hamster named Harry. So hamster is going to first parameter will go to the first argument, and second argument will go to the second parameter. Whatever you pass, they are called argument. Whatever are in the function definition, they are called parameter. So first argument goes to first parameter, second argument goes to second parameter. So therefore the order is decided by the position of the parameters and position of the argument. Therefore these are called positional keyword. But there is another way of passing the argument, that is this keyword argument. Okay, so at that time you can write it like this: describe pet name. So I am again calling the function, pet name equals doggy, and animal type equals dog. You can see that I have changed the order here. Animal type in the parameter list was first, while in the argument list, what you pass, that is called argument. What is in the function definition, that is called parameter. So in the argument list, I am taking animal type as the second. Similarly here, pet name is second, but in the animal when I call the function at that time, I am writing pet name as first. But this will work perfectly. That is because if I would have just written without these names of the parameters, then it would not work perfectly, because as I said, then it would take it as a positional, and first will go to first, second will go to second. So it will print that I have a doggy named dog, which is wrong actually. I have a dog named doggy. Okay, so therefore I should pass, if I change the order, then I should pass with explicit specification of which parameter I want to pass by this argument and which parameter I want to pass by this argument. Once you explicitly specified that, then thereafter order does not matter. Still this doggy, which is first here, will go to this second only, because I have explicitly told it to go to that second, and this dog, which is animal type, will go to this first only. It is second here, but it will go to this first only. Okay, let us check. And so this type of arguments, these are called keyword argument, or in simple language they are called kwargs. While this type of arguments, they are called positional argument, and in simple language it is called args. So args and kwargs. However, if you can pass only exactly same number of arguments, then that would limit the functionality greatly. For example, what I am saying is, say I am writing a function for a pizza shop, and I make a function like this: def make pizza, and topping. And I write print making a pizza with following toppings, and then I write topping. Now the problem with this is that this is only a single parameter, so it can take only a single argument. So this would become a very primitive pizza shop which can only serve pizza with one type of topping. Say here I am passing pepperoni. So then in that case, what will happen is that make pizza pepperoni, and it prints this statement making a pizza with the following toppings, and in the bracket the whatever you are passing as argument here, this is the argument which goes to this, which is the parameter, and then that would be printed instead of this curly brace. So then making a pizza with the following topping pepperoni. But the question is, every pizza shop will have a number of different toppings. So will you go on defining new functions for each new topping? No. So what to do? I want to include several different types of toppings inside. So then in that case, what we do is we use a symbol called asterisk args. The asterisk says to the Python that how many arguments can be passed, then any number of arguments. So an arbitrary number of arguments can be passed. Okay, so let us see. Let's make pizza asterisk toppings. You can see the difference between this and this. Okay, and now I am writing same sentence making a pizza with following topping, but instead of printing the variable topping here, I am writing for topping in toppings. So I am passing large number of toppings to this, and then I use a for loop that for each topping in that large number of toppings, one by one print that toppings. So then print that name of that topping. Okay, so let us call this function. First define this function and execute it. Now let us call this function make pizza, and I am passing this many arguments: mushroom, green peppers, and extra cheese. So these are three types of topping, and I can just go on adding a comma separated list, another, and then comma and another, and comma and another. So practically countless number of toppings can be added. So then if I execute this, what will happen? First, this mushroom, this whole list, all these arguments will go here, and then they will be stored inside this function when it will be executed, and then one by one this loop takes the first. So it will be, this sentence will print mushrooms, then it will print this green pepper, and then it will print extra cheese. Upper sentence will be printed only once, but this sentence, that is the name of the toppings, they will be printed once for each type of topping. Okay, let us check it. So making a pizza with following toppings: mushroom, green peppers, and extra cheese. Now you can understand the power of this, that you can practically pass any arbitrary number of positional arguments. So for positional argument, you just have to pre-qualify your argument here in the function definition with a asterisk symbol. Similarly, the question is, can I pass any number of that keyword argument? Then yes, that also you can pass. For that you have to use the kwargs and two asterisks. You have to qualify it with 2 times asterisk. So if you write this kwargs, of course instead of this kwarg you can write the name of that arg. Then you can pass any number of keyword argument. Not only that, you can take a mixture of these also. You can take 1 or 2 simple positional arguments. These are simple positional arguments. You can say that there is no asterisk or anything, but with that you can combine 1 or any number more also keyword arguments. So then here this def build profile, first it takes 3 parameters, first, last, and then arbitrary number of keyword argument user info. Now what will happen if this function is defined, and now if I call it this way, build profile I am calling. So this is a positional argument. So first will go to first. So Albert will go to first. Then Einstein will go to last. Okay. So that is fine. But all these remaining, they will go to what? They will go to these arbitrary number of keyword argument. So that means user info, location Princeton, and field physics, both will go to the user info. Now if I say that, what this function will do then it creates a list kind of thing. User info first name equals first. So that means user info first name is Albert. So here Albert will go. Then user info last name, it will add Einstein. So I get the user info first and last is Albert Einstein, and then it adds the remaining argument also automatically. So this location Princeton, you get user info location Princeton and user info field physics. Okay, so when it returns user info, what it will return? It will return first name Albert, last name Einstein, location Princeton, and field physics. Let us check. First, let me execute the function, and then now I call the function. So you can see that location, for instance, field physics, first name Albert and last name Einstein. Okay. Here there is only one condition, that if you do some this kind of mixture of positional argument and keyword argument, and there also you write arbitrary keyword argument, then positional argument must precede the keyword argument. Okay. And if you forget, and if you, do it other way around or something, then Python will throw the error, and it will throw very clear error. So you will immediately understand what difference you have made. So it is a nice practice to make everything with asterisk or asterisk asterisk. That means either positional argument with arbitrary number of argument or keyword argument with arbitrary number of argument. You should put them afterwards, while simple positional argument or simple keyword argument, they should be put earlier. Okay, so that is one thing, and you can build a profile in this manner. Now you can understand that a simple function, and you can add any more number of arguments here, because this can take arbitrary number of arguments. So you can take the two most important property of the user, that is first name and last name, as a positional argument, but rest of the property you can club into a single argument called user info. So you can go on adding more and more properties. Say in his time, Einstein's time, emails were not there, but today suppose some scientist is there, then email, then maybe his number of Nobel prizes he has won, then maybe his postal address, then his date of birth, then his current position, where he is working, and all those things. So that all those things will be bundled into this one single keyword argument, because it is not single, rather it is any number of arbitrary number of keyword argument. Okay. So far what we have done in this function, that is concluded here. Okay, and let me make the font slightly bigger so everybody can see. So conclusion is understanding how to define and call function, that we have seen, how to handle parameters, and how to manage the scope of the variable, local scope, global scope, default scope, and many others, and writing effective Python code. These concepts enhance code reusability and clarity, and also enable developers to write modular and error-free programs. By mastering the functions and scope, Python programmers can develop applications that are both powerful and efficient. So just to remind you, without function, there is no programming language which would be worth its name. Okay, so functions are the thing which makes code reusability possible. Okay, functions are the name. Functions make the allow us to reuse the same block of code again and again anywhere in our script. So they are tremendously powerful things. And now in next chapter we want to do about the next lecture, rather we want to do about this thing, that is loops in Python, and that is also a very important lecture. So please don't miss it. Thank you.